Hello and welcome to EE233. I'm your instructor, Gregory Myers. In this video, we're going to take another look at our student course registration system demo, and specifically, we're going to take a look at the isAStudent function that can be found in our StaticArray.h. This video assumes that you have watched the earlier videos in the series, particularly those that focus on the setup of your project, as well as have a copy of the h.h files that correspond to the project and a copy of the sample students.csv. So let's go ahead and take a look at the function in our StaticArray.c. And to begin with, we'll take a look at the input arguments to the function, the first of which is the array of students that we wish to search, the count, which simply keeps track of the number of active students in our array, or rather the number of valid students in our array, and then the student ID that we wish to search for. And the idea is that we would like to loop through all of the elements in our array of structures, looking for the student whose student ID matches the one that we have passed as the third argument. Now, please note, we only want to look to see whether or not a matching student exists. So as a result, once we have found the first matching student, we want to stop looking. So as such, we're going to use a while loop that will allow for us to escape or exit out of the search early once the first match has been found. So to begin with, we want to go ahead and create an index variable that will allow for us to loop through our students. We'll go ahead and initialize this to 0. And as I mentioned earlier, we want to be able to exit out of our loop early, which will lend us to using a while loop with two conditions. The first one being that our index is less than our count. In other words, we haven't run out of students to look for, and that our found is equal to 0, or rather our results are equal to 0. So essentially what's happening here is our results variable is acting like a found flag. And then inside of the while loop, we simply use our own string compare function to compare the value of the student ID in the particular student, so students square brackets index, and that particular student's ID with the student ID that we are searching for that was passed as the third argument to the function. And then if you recall from our string compare function, we had the ability to choose whether or not we were interested in case by selecting either case insensitive or case sensitive. Case insensitive means that we don't care if, for instance, the student ID was capitalized. Case sensitive would care. In this case, we probably don't care whether the student ID was capitalized. And if you also recall from our string compare function, it would return 0 if there were no differences found. So if our string compare returns 0, that essentially means that a match was found. Else, we keep looking. And under the match was found, what we can do now is we can simply say results equal to 1, which effectively acts as a true. And under the else branch, we simply increment our index. At this point, our function will return 0 if no match is found, and it will return a 1 if it finds a match in the array. Also note that this allows for us to exit out of our while loop by either reaching the count or after the first result, matching result, has been found. So as always, if you have any questions or comments, don't hesitate to email me. Hopefully you found this video useful, and thank you for watching.